Hi, this is the True Blue Lounge. My name is Roger Smith, and today we have a wonderful guest, Dr. Carlene Blackwood-Brown. And before we get started with our little chat, please subscribe to this channel. And without further ado, here is Carlene. Hey, Carlene, how you doing?
Hey Roger, how are you? Or as we say in Jamaica, Wagwan.
All right. So, if no one knows, Carlene is a Mannings School 1983 grad. And a doctor at that. So, Carlene, I'm really grateful that you're here to bless this little platform and talk about cybersecurity. So let's start from your Manning's days or just before that. What primary school did you go to?
I grew up in Long Hill in White House, so I went to King's Primary,
Okay.
which is like a stone's throw from where I actually live. And
Hmm.
then I went down to New Hope Primary, which is in White House, and I spent 1 year there. That's where I did my common entrance.
Hmm.
And then from there, it's the big school, Mannings.
Had to go there. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And I like to do a nice little cognitive test as well. So in first form, can you name four guys from
Oh
your
God.
class and four girls? Just trying to make sure that at certain ages we don't lose our so people know that even though you're a doctor, you're still you still have your faculties about you.
You caught me off guard there, Roger.
I know.
Um, for girls, well, Wendy Lee,
Uh huh.
Elaine Jarrett,
Uh huh.
Hilbert Kelly,
Uh-huh.
Donna Forrest, Nola Hobson. So
Oh, you
I'm
got even
just,
more than that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
give
yeah.
and give me three or four guys as well.
I think Brian McDonald was in my class. Moses Chibar was also in my class, and Arthur Esio. Yeah, I
Okay,
made it.
okay, that's good. That you made it. What's like a typical lunch for you at school?
Patty and cocoa bread.
And where would
Patty
you
and cocoa bread. Yeah.
and where would you be going for that?
Oh gosh, I forgot the name of the cocoa
Plaza.
bread place, but I know we used to go to Hurry Hurry
Uh-huh.
because they had a variety of stuff, including some soups. So when we never have much money, which I never had enough money, and that wasn't because it's not like it's not. My parents just never have the money. So
Right.
yeah, so it's not like I wanted to do more, and then the money was not enough. We just didn't have enough money. So it was just patty cocoa bread, and sometimes we carry little bread thing from home, and we share it, among each other and stuff like that. So it was a very low key, very humble. They call it humble now, humble upbringing that I came from. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
understood.
yeah.
That's a lot of people can relate to that. So when
Mhm.
you graduated from school, can you tell us what you where you went and how you are to be where you're located now in Canada and the employment and career that you've taken?
Okay, so to put it in context, there are 13 of us in the family, 1 dozen plus one, and I'm the 13th child,
Wow.
right? So, and most of us were like 2 years apart. So by the time I was born, I had persons waiting to call me auntie because my bigger brothers and sisters were already having children. So when I saw the trend, I'd always say to mommy and daddy, I am not going to leave you. I'm going to stay with you, and I'm not going to go to Kingston because everybody was going to Kingston. So Manning School graduation 83 was on a Thursday. So my brothers and sisters and family came down from Kingston, and I went with them to Kingston the Friday, and I never went back to Westmoreland.
Wow.
I never went back to Westmoreland to live, right? But honestly, probably not even a lot of persons know me because I was very quiet, and because we live a bush, we have to catch the one bus. So we catch the bus just in time before Mr. Nita, you know, start to call me out for lateness. Get to school, do whatever we had to do, and then we had to run out to catch the bus. So I wasn't involved in a lot of stuff and all of that. So when I graduated, went to Kingston, I did not do well in high school, like academically, because I had no clue what I wanted to be. So I did not have a career path or anything. So I went to Kingston, and I had to do I went to this school called North Street Excelsior to do additional GCE and CXC because I didn't do well from the high school level. When I was finished with that, still no clue what I wanted to do. So I went to talking to my friend, and she said, "Why you don't go CAS?" That was what it was called. Why you don't go CAS and do them IM course, which is institutional and catering management. So because I did science subjects, I went to CAST, and then I did 3 years there of institutional and catering management. When I was finished, I started working in the hotel and everything. And because, me grew up as Christian, sheltered life, the hotel life was like night and day.
Right.
And me there, I serve, beverage, alcoholic thing, and my church said, no, you mustn't drink. So it was like a conflicting thing in my little young mind. So I said I had to do something else. And I used the diploma from CAS as in lieu of A levels to get into UE.
Okay.
So I went to UE. Still, I wasn't even working yet because in Jamaica it's either you go school or you work, but
Right.
the two of them not really mix. So fortunately for me, or like I'm really blessed, I had my brothers and sisters who were funding the way. So I went to UE. I did the Bachelor of Science in Management Studies, and that I did that for 3 years. Then when I left UE, I started working at CAST. It was still CAST. So I went into a supervisory role in the Student Records Office, and I must give props to Dr. Sangster because he was the one who said, "I'm going to take in fresh blood, put the person in this department, and see if anything can happen," because everybody they hired were like persons who were working at CAST before, so it was just the same old, same old. So he took a chance with me, right? And Roger, the first day I walked into the office, you can imagine the records office. We have everybody from CAST start in the folder, the Manila folder, and filing cabinet and paper all over. And something just kicked in me and said, how am I going to get through all these papers? So I remember the two little computer courses I did in the management studies. I hated computers. You wouldn't believe, right? But then I remembered, and they had some computers, but they were using typewriters, back in the day. And, they had to type transcripts, which had to be all authentic and no mistakes. So if they were typing on, the full scrap paper, and if you make one mistake, they have to rip it up and start again. You could not use whiteout. I kind of dated myself, but you couldn't use
Tipex.
whiteout. Right, yes. So I started to use all of that knowledge from, UE with management and that technology. And that was where my interest in IT started, right? And I did a lot of stuff which, like, at the time, it was like, wow, because then I took them from the typewriter to using the computer. So, productivity turn up. Because
Yes.
because, you just do one and then you print a lot and stuff like that, or you do templates and print a lot. So, man, me look like me a magician there. And yes, Carly, productivity and people now who were waiting months for transcript, it could be done in a short time. So, while at CAS, I said, boy, let me go do something else. And at the time, there was this cross masters that was offered by UE, where the person, what they said, the com science persons knew nothing about management and the business, and the persons who did management, like myself, knew nothing about technology. So we had this course thing where ComSci persons were now doing management courses and we were doing technical courses. So that was how the masters came into being. So I went and I did the master's program at UE again. And when I was finished, like I was gonna go back to UTech to actually work in the admin section. But then one of my friends said to me, Carlene, somebody wants to, so somebody who was supposed to teach had an emergency and cannot teach. And she and I had done the same master. She said that you can teach. I'm gonna say you're madman. I'm gonna say a joke, you joke. Me teach because for me I was very shy. You don't put me to talk alone. Like in class, I'd never raise my hand because then I'd be on the, everybody would be looking at me.
Yeah.
So I said, no, no, no. And she said, yeah, man, Carlene, do it. And Roger, the rest is kind of history where I went into the first class. I had, and I think I can say it, I had diarrhea, I had everything because it was the first time. And then I was going to teach computer course to computer students. So I said, what if them know more than me? What if them ask me question? We can't ask. Enough things. But it went well. And from there, I started teaching at UTech. Um, and but when I was going to UE, I knew I always wanted to do to do a PhD. Didn't quite know what it was supposed to be in yet, but so
Where's the
I did.
drive coming from, though, Carly?
Hmm?
Where's that drive? Because you've done these subsequent courses one after the other. Is that a family thing? Is that a man in school thing? Where does it come from?
I think it's a combination of both, right? Because like my family, with all 13, there was not enough to go around. So I wanted to kind of take my family out of all of that, where we were from, because we just run up and down barefoot and the whole 9 yards. So, but I don't know. There was just this inner thing they call it intrinsic motivation, where it's not driven by rewards or anything external. It's something inside. So I just kept going. So, as you mentioned, that a lot of times people said, my pet name is June, right? So they say, June, you're always a study.
Right, right.
Right? So I always had this thing. And so when I started teaching, then you have to be with it, especially in IT, in order to deliver something that's relevant. So I did UTech. And I did UE, sorry. And while at UE for the bachelor's, I met Mr. Brown. And then we fell in love and everything. But me say, boy, me no want name no common brown. So me not dash with my Blackwood. Me want a little swagger to it, right?
Right, right.
So, in Jamaica, them don't know your name, Mr. B and stuff like that. So I with Orlando and I, his name is, we got married in 1995 when we both left UWI, right? And then he was working at Alcan, I was working at UTech, still teaching. I didn't want full time because I just wanted to teach and go home. But my husband had a full time job, so came with benefits, so we were okay. And then one day we had an unfortunate situation where he went to work in the middle day, like 4:30. I know that's not middle day, and once he drove in, three little young picnic, none of them knows 20 yet, held him up at gunpoint
Wow.
and took the car. And so it was really like, oh my God. So that was what kind of pushed us to leave Jamaica, right? Because we didn't feel safe anymore. We felt invaded and I mean everything. So we started filling out, because at the time it was easier than now to come to Canada. You are professional, my husband has his ACCA degree. I also was a professional, so we just applied, and with the point system, so
This
yeah,
ACCA. It's a high acclaimed accounting. Yeah.
yeah,
Certified
yeah,
chartered account. I didn't want you.
exactly,
I didn't want you to just brush over your husband's accomplishments. Yeah, ACCA. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
I have a good friend that
ACCA,
went through it in London, so I
yeah,
know the qualification.
yeah,
Go ahead.
right. So he did that. We came. So now the story is that while we were in Jamaica and the papers were being processed to come to Canada, my husband and I had a discussion, and he said, because all his life he's been working at Alcan, holiday job, they gave him a scholarship, he went to UWI, they took him on, so he has never really worked out. He he doesn't have any interview experience. So he said, since we're going to Canada, I think I need some interview experience. So let me just put out some little feelers and see, if I can get some experience. So he saw a job in the Gleaner, lovely Gleaner, that was asking for an accountant for the University College of the Cayman Islands. So we said, great, because at least that's kind of international, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to the interview, Roger, and them offer him the job. So he was like, me never really want it. Me they just want the experience. So he and I had this tussle. Me now go here, man, go live. Me now go know where we little than Jamaica go live. That type of thing. But we thought about it and prayed because we're Christians about it. And we went to Cayman for 3 years. So we left Jamaica, went to Cayman for 3 years while the papers were being processed to come to Canada, right? And it was really very good. It helped us a lot financially because, paying our tax and the dollar strong. And, so 3 years over there, the both of us working. And I ended up working in education with the government. I didn't teach, but I was working in education. So all of my professional life, I've been in the education sector, whether it's on the academics or in administration. It's just
Right,
so
right, right.
funny. So we stayed there for 3 years. We had one son while we were in Jamaica. So when it was now maxed out the time that you could stay outside of Canada before you take up the offer, um, Hurricane Ivan came and we said, boy, Jamaica they're down there, so Canada they're over there, so came and kind of mash up, what we are going to do. But, again, we decided to come to Canada. And that was where we came. And then from there, it was rough. I don't like foreign, so maybe I'm not going to talk a lot about it because I don't like foreign. I wanted to go back. We came in 2005. I wanted to go back like 2006, but
Wow.
you got to have reason. Yeah. And we stayed here. We struggled a lot, even though I had masters, my husband having certification and everything. We struggled a lot to really get out. And then, just like I started teaching at UTech, I met a friend over here who was teaching at one of the colleges here, and she took in my resume, and I started teaching part time at Seneca College in Ontario. And then I was just there, and my husband, then he did his CPA, because in Canada you got to do their certification, right?
Right.
So he did that, and then that thing started kicking me again. Remember the PhD, remember the PhD. But when I have the money, and because I didn't want to do anything like in gender studies and those, ruralization, and so I had to fund it myself. So that take out the whole of our savings and what we never had, because then I did it in Florida at Nova Southeastern University. So I started it. So I was traveling to Nova from Canada. So Canada, go down to Florida twice every semester. I was teaching at two of the large colleges here, have enough picnic. Then we had another son here, so it was like a stressful time, right?
Right,
But
right.
I managed to be successful. So I did the name of the PhD is in information systems with cybersecurity. So, and it was hard to find because I'm not fully technical in the sense that I started out as a comsci, I started out as a management student, right? But what it helped me to do is I understood business operations, and then I was able to also integrate the technology in it. So that kind of put me at a little competitive edge in. I can speak from both sides of the aisles, right? So and then I continue teaching. I'm still teaching. I'm still teaching. So that's what I do full time. And I have a business. When I was doing my PhD, I actually did my dissertation looking at cybersecurity skills and awareness in senior citizens.
Okay.
So I have a vulnerable spot, a soft spot for the older adults who are the most targeted with the
Okay.
cybercrime thing. So that's where I'm at now. So I'm still teaching, living in Canada, still one husband, but now two sons.
Okay. Okay.
And that's what's happening. Yeah.
So, why cybersecurity?
I think when I started, after I did that master's at UWE,
Hmm.
I wanted something that would never go, as we say in Jamaica, that wouldn't go out of style.
Hmm.
Like it wouldn't become obsolete,
Hmm.
right? So I know that the internet was exploding, and with that, security is always going to be an issue.
Hmm.
So that's not a part of tech that's going to become obsolete. So that was what drove me to that cybersecurity. Well, it was called security, and now it's
Cyber.
cybersecurity. So the name changes. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you and your husband are prayerful people. So
Mhm.
does religion, as far as your life is concerned and how you manage your life, is religion an integral part? And how does it support you?
Um, and maybe I hope my pastor doesn't hear me say this, but I don't really like to call it religion because there's so many different perspectives of religion.
Hmm.
I want, and I know if I was to label it, I'm a Christian, but the relationship and the fellowship with God far exceeds a label called religion, if you know what I mean,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So,
yes.
but so like God is like up front, center, everything middle, all around me, above me, under, yeah, and everything we consult. I mean, we fail a lot of times because we want we own a thing.
Yes,
But
yes.
then that like at home where we grew up, my mother would have prayer meeting morning and night. Can't leave the house out when we late to go on Mannings. Can't leave the house go without prayer meeting. Can't go to our bed without. So that is just even until this day. But God, the direction and the more I read about how who God is, so I'm a member of the Church of God of Prophecy. Yay, big up to my church people, them right. um, but the relationship with God, man, is not like Mama God or Papa God or my brother God. That personal, like how me and your brethren always just sit down and have a conversation, have a chat. That's the fellowship where me and the Lord just have. And like sometimes I say, well, go on, daddy, where you want me wear today, how you want me to look, where you want me to say, type of thing. So I
Okay.
have that personal thing with him. It's not just a church thing. So I can, if I don't go to church for a while, but I do go to church, that relationship with God, still there. Yeah,
Okay.
still there. Yeah. It's
Nice.
my foundation, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think happens to us when we expire?
A church I can't go now, I
No,
just
no, 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 no. I mean, hey, how are we going to ever know Dr. Carlene Blackwood-Brown unless we ask these kind of questions, you know?
well, because the Bible is my mantra, the Bible is my guidebook, whatever the Bible says. Like your physical body is put into the ground and it decays, but your spirit leaves you. Because, and I don't want to get down into teaching about Bible, but I'm learning about the spirit, soul, and body, right? So we have the spirit is the part that God communicates with because He's a spirit. So everything He has done for us, and that's why as Christians, it's kind of hard, and that's why He says you gotta have faith to believe in me because you're not gonna be seeing a physical thing. You're gonna. I said there is a phone, so even if you don't see a phone, you gotta have that belief in me that there is a phone. So the spirit is where we are like God, right? But then we have wrestled with it, bold flesh or so on, the emotions and all of that. And that's why I don't want to preach in a writer, but that's why in Romans 12 it says, be he transformed by the renewing of your mind. So when you become a Christian, that sinful nature is actually replaced because it says you are now a new creation, a brand new, not a renovated sinner. Says that you are a brand new man, right? So that is what is now in me. But then me still short, me still, black, me still whatever. So now I gotta get that body and that mind to to operate like who I am in that brand new man. And that's where the wrestle is for us as Christians. Because the body said, boy, I want to do this. I'm a want the emotions to do that. And the spirit says, no, this is how you must live. So there's a wrestling. So when I die, you're gonna put my body, burn it, really matter. My spirit is where it lives on forever. And so how I believe it based on what the Bible says, if I trust the Lord and I go to be with him in heaven. And if I don't, then you don't know.
Fire and brimstone, everlasting fire. Okay.
Amen.
So if you could go back to Carlene when she was 16, 17,
Okay.
and speak to her, knowing what you know now, what would you say?
I think I would have a plan for my life. Because honestly, and I gave you the shortened version of the road, but think about, I didn't have any plan. I didn't know what to do. I just know that I was the last one. Me and two of my brother always live a country, and we ride bicycle and we ride the donkey, and Papa gone a ground because he was a farmer by day and a fisherman by night. My mother used to literally make patties and fry them. Boy, me don't know how she do it, because you can imagine a fried patty. And we help her, make the patty. And that was just life. And they didn't have any plan for us. Just like now we have one like a college fund for we picnic and all of that. They didn't, and it's not that they didn't want it for us. They just never have it,
Survival.
right? So yeah, so I didn't have a plan. So me just go on with the flow. So me, that's why when we done Mannings, me not even remember what my CXC results was like, but it never good. I had to go back to school, right? But then my parents didn't even understand a whole lot about, like we even said, girl, how you only get that, that type of thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And so I didn't have a plan. So if I was to go back, I would try to align myself with somebody who could steer me, because I call myself a late starter. Right, because I give you this joke when I was graduating with my PhD, because if me leave Manning's 83, everybody done calculate the age already, right? So I finished my degree, the PhD in 2018, right? So I remember when we were standing in the line to walk up, this other young lady who was completing with me, she said, "Oh, Cardi, that's my mom, and she is 50." So me no bother tell her for me age, because me did at them age they already, but that was her mother.
Right, right, right.
So it's at 50 them age that me I get PhD, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if I had a plan, to just, even if it wasn't, I did everything to it, but at least it would chart my path. Like, I wouldn't have waited so long, because even when I finished the masters, I finished it in 1998, and I did not start the PhD until 2014.
Wow.
So them long gaps there and thing, me don't know what me da wait for. But it still worked for the better. And what I now in looking back, I said, when me did do the IM course for this institutional and catering, but now me, we can spin up two nice little meal for my family.
Right, 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 right.
Right? So everything I took something from each little pocket of thing I did. So it has now shaped me, shaped my perspective on life and all of that. So that's what I would have told my younger self. Find a mentor.
Nice.
Right? Find a mentor. Yeah.
What's your hobbies and what do you do in your spare time?
I don't have none. I don't have a lot of spare time, which is not a good thing. But
Do you
I
want
go
more
to
time? Do you want spare time?
Oh yes, who
Okay,
not want
okay.
that much, man? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I go to Jamaica. Like I live in Canada. I sleep in Canada. I actually live in Jamaica mentally, but I sleep in Canada. So any chance I get, boy, I have to go down forget that little. Because over, the snow, I don't like the snow. So like I literally like, well, and maybe if Steve watch this, Steve will say, Cardi, go enjoy the snow. No. You don't understand me? I, go out. Me and snow, at Jamaica me come from, me and snow is not friend. But I live here, right? And so I just, what, Well, like now, because I'm like building my relationship with the Lord, I usually put my little ear thing in and I listen to scriptures or I listen to like a good Bible teacher because I want to grow and know what He has done for me so I can operate in it. Because you hear them say, well, you know, can't kill you. That is not true, right? So I'm now knowing God for myself, as my mother always said, know God for yourself, little girl, you know, that type of thing. But me never know what she mean. Me know her God and me go to church and me go Sunday school. But now that personal relationship. And you know, we kick back with, I love family. So hang out with my family and we just laugh and chat and not do nothing. Those are the things that drive. My family is okay. And when I say my family, it's not just my husband and two sons. I thought the big old over 150 of us in the
Yes,
family.
yes.
We're good. Carlene is good.
Okay,
Carlene
okay.
is good. Yeah. So
Do you
yeah.
drink? Do you drink alcohol? Smoke cigarettes? Anything like that?
No, so you want to me? You see, now I still see my mother and father kind of want to slap me down if me do them something else.
No, just
You
trying
know
to
that
find out
we
if you live
say,
on the edge. Do you live on the edge? Okay.
no, I don't think so because my husband does not also live on the edge. He's a very careful person. So I'm, you know, me loud and me will carry on and blah blah blah. But I don't drink. If
Not even a
the one
glass of
I
wine.
do
Not even a
drink,
glass of wine.
I will drink a little, but I have to make sure that my husband is close by because I've never been drunk and I don't know what I'm going, who I'll turn into if it get to my head. I remember, I think it was in the summer, I went to New York and with family and, you know, brother and wife and them go out and me gonna drink wine. Boy, me never like how me feel if I so drunkenness feel, so me just hold on to my husband hand, come, me don't know what me ever do. But I don't, alcohol, it doesn't, it's not something that appeals to me. When we there country, you know, you roll up the banana leaf and you kind of smoke it. No, make mama and papa see it, right? But I've never liked cigarette now. So that part is not something I've explored and I don't plan to.
Okay.
You know, I don't plan
How do you manage your mental health?
to. Again, I go back to the scripture because sometimes you see all that women that study. Oh my God, I'd have like 40 tabs open on in Firefox and then another 30 open in that and like sometimes where I'm at and it can get very overwhelming. But every time when I get overwhelmed, it's like the Lord just tapped me on my shoulder because that's the relationship we had. And Him say, "Little miss, are you are carry the burden, you know?" And me tell you, say, "Give me the burden." So whenever time I'm getting and consumed with all of that, me just say, all right, and me just kind of just picture him and hug me up and me just lay down back in him arms and make him deal with it because I can't deal with it. So that's how I control my mental health based on what the scripture says. Him say, cast your cares upon me. So me say, seek your God, Becky.
Okay, okay.
And I don't consume myself with it. So, you know, no matter what's happening, it could be a storm out there, I'm safe
That's nice.
in Jesus' arms. And that's how I look at it. Yeah.
That's nice. Hey, I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you a couple of questions about your line of work so that, you can help us mere mortals be able to be as great as you. So tell me something. What are the most common kind of cyber threats that a normal person like myself or Tom, Tom Jones goes through in their daily life that we should be looking for?
Well, it depends on the devices you have and what you do. So the because most persons now either have one computer and one phone, that type of thing. So even having those things, it falls under one of the biggest one falls under this umbrella that they call social engineering. And social engineering is when others manipulate you using psychological things, play on your emotions, your ability to trust, and they use it to trick you. So under that umbrella of social engineering comes stuff like, it depends on how it comes to you. So if it comes to you via emails, they call it phishing. If it comes to you via voice, where they call you, they call it vishing. If it comes to you via text message that they send to you, it's called smishing. And now there's a new one where they use the QR code,
Right.
and that's called quishing. So social So but it all falls under social engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're saying, it's easier to dupe or con a human than
Mm-hmm.
it is to break through firewalls and all the defenses you have on your computer, right,
Mm-hmm.
or on your phone. So if I can call Roger
Mm-hmm.
and tell Roger, say, me a call from there, well, you have Apple things, you come a call from Apple and me notice, activity on your computer and I want to help you because you are a valid customer.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier than to try to break through, whatever defenses on that you have on there. So social engineering is the biggest one. And then through social engineering, you can get malware,
Mm-hmm.
which can lead to identity theft.
Mm-hmm.
It can lead to stuff like, when you go on using free Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
because most of us do. We leave our house, we don't want to use the data,
Mm-hmm.
so we go to the airport, to the mall, to the bank, a doctor's office, and we use free Wi-Fi. That's a big old X, right? So it can fall under a number of categories, but these are the most common because either they're going to send you emails
Mm-hmm.
and the emails look like they're coming from a trusted your bank, your friend or something. So that's the phishing as long as it comes via email. And then now when they call you, so that's why sometimes somebody, even the older folks say, "But Carly, me not go on the internet, I just make a phone me have." So they call you. And then they ask you some questions or send you a link. One of them called me one morning and telling me about prayer meeting. So the Zoom link for the prayer meeting. And then, me just want to slap them, come and say, "You really gonna bring God in all of this?" You're scamming, you really gonna use the past. And so I must click on the Zoom link to join the prayer meeting. No, me a Christian. We love to pray and all of that. So, you get duped and all of that. But it mostly comes through those, the identity theft, the malware, the social engineering, which includes all of those unpatched software.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our computer and we get the little notification that updates are ready to be installed. We can't bother you, man, so we leave it. So the bad guys, because that's why they send out what they call patches. So since Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, whatever, since they released the product, they have now found some security vulnerabilities or weaknesses. So now they send out this thing to patch it up like a band-aid.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't put it in, if you don't install it, the bad guys when they're exploiting and they know, oh, so one device here whenever I get the patch,
Mm-hmm.
and they go and they come on it. So those are some of the common ways, that they come at you as a normal person. Yeah.
And what can we do? What can we really do to protect ourselves?
Um, the first thing is to educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So don't gone are the days when we say that for the IT person, or you, if you have children, you say, "Oh, my son is the IT person in the home and just use it." So each person has a responsibility. So in my line of things, because even though I teach at the college, I still do community educating persons. So breaking it down in simple terms that you can understand, right? So educate yourself so you can know what is up against you. You can't again say, "Boy, I mean, I know what go on," so if I mean, I know it now, but trouble me, right? So, and then everything now requires you to create an account and sign in. So what the easy thing for us to do is to use the same password because we get old and the memory not so good. So we use the same password on all the accounts. What that can lead to is, let's say you use the same password for everything, and let's say you have a Gmail account and there was a security like breach, cyber attack at Gmail, and the bad guys get the combination of your username and password. They have a thing now called credential stuffing, where they reuse that and hit every other thing that you have. So if it's the same password, them successful in your bank, in your insurance, in your everything that you have accounts for. So we say to persons, use strong, unique passwords. Now, how you going to do that? So now they have what are called password managers that you can use and all you do, remember, one strong password, and then the password manager generates the password for you. It stores them in a encrypted, meaning that nobody can read it. Vault. You know when you go to the bank and you have a vault, them give you one key and you put in all of your stuff. So the people at the bank don't know what's in there. Just you with the key or the combination. So that's what the password manager does. And by the way, we are going to have my company, because I have a company on the side. I don't get to spend enough time on it, but we are going to be having a session on how to set up and use a password manager that we recommend. So you use strong, unique passwords for everything. When you go to a website, the password manager looks into the vault and say, "Oh, you're going to this site. Here is the password." If you go to a site and it's malicious, it tells you, it warns you too that hey, that one is malicious, right? So you use strong, unique password for everything that you do. They have something now called multi-factor authentication. So first time it's just your username and password and you are in. Because there is so much attack on passwords, they say let's use more than one thing to verify, say a Roger assigning. So you may get a code to your phone, a code to your email. So if they break into your account, getting your username and password, if they don't have the phone, that they send the code to, then the person cannot go in. So everything that you do, bank, work, school, play, any account that has offers multi-factor authentication, use it, right? Like I said before, keep your software updated, right? Because this is where the bad guys, they have tools that they send out and it scouts the internet to find out who is alive, what devices are there, and what's on them. So if they find you have something that's outdated, then they will attack you, right? So the whole, and have what is called layered protection. Don't just have one thing. So like we at my company, we recommend three basic things that you should have. So the password manager is one, because it's crucial, because almost everything is a password you need even before you have the other, whether it's your biometric, which is your eye, your finger, whatever, but you need the password. So we have the password manager, have one, and that takes care of all password management. Then we have something that's called a VPN, which means virtual private network. And what that does for you, when you go on the internet, your IP address, because every device on the internet is identified by a unique number. So they call it an IP address. So when you go on the internet, your internet service provider and the government can tell if it's your phone you use or it's your computer or whatever you use. They know where you go. But when you use the VPN, what it does, and let me break it down. You've been to New York, right? And they have this subway and it runs underground. So we on top of the ground know that the train or the train are passed there, but we cannot see the train. It's only when the train exits and come up, then you know that was a train there, but it's going on. So when you use a VPN, when you actually connect, you connect to what is called a VPN server, and the IP address that is shown online is that of the VPN server. So it masks your identity, right? That's one thing. So it gives you privacy. Nobody knows that it's Carlene. They just see the VPN server, and I can connect to a server in Japan, Jamaica, England, America, anywhere that I want. So it looks like it's coming from there. And the next thing that it does, everything that you send or receive, it encrypts it. And what encryption does, instead of it saying, hello, how are you, it's some garble, 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 something. So it encrypts what you do so nobody can really eavesdrop.
Understood.
And no, they can eavesdrop, but they won't know what is being sent. Because even right now that I'm here, data is traveling. Because it's some like a magnetic thing, electrical thing, signals going. So that's what they intercept. So when they intercept it, it's the garble garble thing. So the VPN protects you like this. And the third thing is, and other things, we're going to talk about it too in our session. The other thing
Tell us
is
about the session you're
anti.
having. Tell us about the session
Okay,
you're
let me
having.
tell you about this last one and then I tell you about the session. The last one is an antivirus comprehensive solution. So it checks, like right now I have it on even on my phone. And it even checks text messages if I set it up. So if somebody sends a text to me and it's malicious, it tells me. So it blocks that anti-phishing. So phishing, you remember what it is. So
Yes.
it blocks, it scans your machine, look for malware, virus, all of those things and whatever. So a lot of times I have awareness sessions where I talk like this and tell people about the threats. And then say, then Carlene, how me fi protect myself? And me say, get VPN, get password manager, get antivirus. Them say, so how me get them and how me set it up and all of that. So I'm going to be having 3 sessions. The first one is how you actually, well, you got to purchase it. Now they have some great Black Friday deals, over 70% off, and you can get for your whole family. So I'm going to show in the first session, which is next week, Tuesday, by the way, November 26th, and you can share the link. They got to register. It's free. So they come to the session. I show them how to download, install, set it up on their computer for it to work for them. Also, how they set it up on the other devices, in their families for the VPN. On the 3rd of December, I'm going to exclusively talk about Password Manager, show you again how you download, install, set it up, and how it actually fills in and how you're to protect it, and how it protects you. And then December 10th, I'm going to have on the antivirus solution. So those are actually hands-on skills. So like we're talking now, I'm going to be showing my screen and I'm going to be clicking on, and you can follow me on your devices. As well as at the end of the session, we can send you instructions if you forget how to do it. But these are the 3 basic things that when you go out now, you are protected. You want to use a password that's strong. Don't type everything online because, oh, I'm going to have my dinner now. We are going to London, my family, so they know that you're not at home, right? So just limit what you share. And when we talk about Mannings, we're not even on a phone. So if I don't see you until tomorrow morning, you got to wait.
Yeah.
So, but now it's all about convenience. And just this, when convenience goes up, security comes down. So if you find that, wow, life is convenient, you're not secure. When you find a lot of inconvenience and you got to do this and got to do that, it's for security reasons.
Try opening a bank account in Jamaica. If you
No.
want to know about inconvenience, so that's security
Oh
for you.
yeah. That's a big one. So even like in Jamaica, they have a lot of the scammers calling, and now they're doing it from the banks. So it's so difficult that I don't like telling people don't trust nothing, but not trust nothing. Verify.
Verify.
Even if it sounds like you, Roger, make you verify. My father always said, if you see somebody on road and him look like me, no stop and pick me up.
Wise man.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
no stop one because you don't know his who.
Yep. So, Carlene, you're gonna give me a link of the seminar,
Yeah,
and I'll put it in the description. That's great.
yeah. And I just want to say that they register. So the link that they get, that's not the Zoom join link. The link that you're gonna get, you gotta register. right? And then after you register for each session, you go to the email that you use to register and check it. There's going to be an automated response from Zoom to say, thank you for registering. Here is the join link. And
Okay.
that's where you get the join link. That's where you get the join link. And on each day at the time, and you know what I do? I put it in my phone to say, an alarm to remind me that that day I need to sign in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah,
good, good.
yeah.
Hey, Dr. Carlene, I'm really happy that you took the time to spend with us for us to get to know you. I know you're a prayerful woman that doesn't like to drink alcohol, so that's what I remember most about you. But
And no
thank
smoking.
and no smoking, never.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
banana leaf and white toast banana too. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the one where you grow your own self, no fertilizer.
That's
I'm
right,
just
right.
kidding. Not even that, because we had to hide. We have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
hide and make sure so the smoke, the scent
God.
of it,
Yep.
before 'cause we used to, you had the outside toilet and everything. So we do it down there so and then we make sure so we clean up before we can go in a house.
Wow, wow, wow. Yep,
But
yep,
just
yep.
one more thing before you go.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
whole topic of AI, because people
Uh,
are asking about AI and everybody's freaking out about it. There are good sides to AI and there are
uh-huh.
bad sides. But what
Yep.
the bad guys do, they use it to now they call it what they call it deep
Deep
fake
fate.
technology. Yeah, deep
Yeah.
fake technology. So it sounds legitimate. I hear Roger's voice, but guess what? Just call you or text you or find out is Roger your thing called me before you do anything because they
Right.
come and it automates things. It can look at a lot of data and bring it together and create a nice profile that when they send it to me, I think it's legitimate because all the facts are there. But always remember, verify first. If you
Okay.
have that in your mind, the links that come to your attachments, don't click on in emails, don't click, verify. If somebody's selling you something, go to the website itself. Don't click on links to go anywhere. I don't click on links unless I am absolutely sure. But the one that I'm going to send you to register, you can click on that one.
Okay. Well,
It's legit.
if you ever get catch, if you get catch, say they have
Yeah.
to be really, really good to catch you.
Yeah. But you know what? Because I'm so always so busy, and that's what they use too. Because you're so busy and so preoccupied, the default thing is to just click.
Understood.
Yeah, without checking, but find the time to verify. Yeah.
Once again, Doctor, thank you, thank you, thank you for spending the time and talking to me. We've learned a
My
lot,
pleasure.
and I'm going to make sure people remember to go to the link and
Yeah.
register and get on your class.
Are you gonna put it in? I think I had sent it to you before. Do you want me to?
Yes. No, 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 no. I'm definitely going to
Oh,
put it
you're gonna put it
in
right.
the YouTube description. Okay.
So November 26th, December 3rd, and December 10th, Tuesdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Since I think you have a large audience in the UK, I'm trying to plan something in on their time because 7 o'clock over our time are like midnight with them, right?
Right,
So
right.
we can work something out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Carlene.
Roger. It was my pleasure and big up Mannings.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.